Hey everyone, my name's Eric Grimsmo, and I'm currently coming from the Grimsmo Knives headquarters, but I'm not here to talk about knives at all, really. I'm actually here to talk about cars. So, welcome to Grimsmo Automotive. So I just wanted to, document a little bit about my car build here. This is my 1983, there we go, 1983 Volvo 242 Turbo. It came with a factory turbo. I think the last year they did that in this car. Did not come with those headlights or that hood, if you can't tell by the paint color. But that's an earlier model flat hood, which just looks a little bit nicer than the new ones. But anyway, yeah, so this is my old car. I bought this when I was 16 years old, so more than half my life ago. It has, me and my brother and I, put in a couple different motors in this car and built them up for fun and, a little bit of power and, had fun there in high school, but most of the time this car was, on jack stands in the shop. Because we would just keep on, pushing the limits and probably not doing things properly or safely, in terms of the, engine. So we'd end up, blowing them up or spinning a rod bearing or doing something like that, and then it would be down again for a few months. And it shortly became unreliable for me as a daily driver, so I got something else, and it kind of just became a fun project for a while. And then after some things happened, I gave it to my brother John, so that he'd have a car to drive, and he continued with it and put in a couple different motors again. He did a lot of stuff with this for a few years. I think he autocrossed it a few times. He got it quite set up. He actually did the suspension, which I never did. It was all stock suspension and just pretty terrible. And we actually drove this thing from Langley, BC, all the way out here to outside Stony Creek, Ontario. We did that towing a U-Haul with it all the way across Canada. It was a pretty epic journey with John and I. I think there's footage maybe from many years ago. Might have gone on YouTube, on John's channel, the John Grimsmo / Grimsmo Knives YouTube channel. So that's kind of the little history of this car. About 6 years ago, or 7 years ago, I got it running again for a little while, and we pulled a motor from the junkyard and put that in, and it lasted for a little while, enough time to put, I'm no good at filming myself. I'll get better, I promise. So the wheels, there we go. I had time to put those on with some nice summer tires and some IPD springs and Bilstein HD struts, I believe. Did that, drove it for another couple months, and then had some issues with what we thought was the head gasket, so we replaced the head gasket over a weekend, and then 2 days later, same problem, still smoking, oil coming out the valve cover gasket and onto the turbo, so I just parked it, didn't want to deal with it, and went and bought a reliable car. And that is what happened to that now for the past, it's just been sitting for 5 years now, gaining a lot more rust, which I will show you now. It had a little bit when, I first got the thing, but none of the rust, that rust wasn't here when I bought it. All these holes on this side. It's just been sitting in southern Ontario, in the weather, uncovered, just kind of being neglected and getting abused to the point that I have a actual hole, which is a real bummer. Because like the only rust that I had in this car when I first bought it was actually these holes that haven't changed at all, except for the paint kind of streaking. And then all the other ones just came in since it's been parked. But yeah, so the point of this video is actually just to kind of introduce the car and myself and Falcor, who has recently had a shave, lost his beard, and kind of talk about this car and kind of what the goal and the plan is. And I think the goal and the plan is to do a full gut and rebuild, get paint and bodywork done, and maybe try to learn how to do that myself with the TIG welder that we got. Probably not. Probably just pay for the body shop to do that, but want to try some intercooler piping and all that. But yeah, so we want to do a full build, get rid of all the rust, do a new paint job. I'm not sure what color yet. And then get a full engine rebuild, I think. Like I think I'm going to stick with the Volvo motor for now. The B23, I believe I have in here. But yeah, I want to get that just fully rebuilt, hopefully so it holds up to as much horsepower as it can, and then I'll keep it quite a bit below that. But yeah, shooting for at least 300 horsepower to the wheels. I'll need a new transmission, like a Ford T5 transmission or T56 or something that'll hold up to more horsepower, better gear ratio and all that. So kind of all the things that we wished we could have done back in the day, I just want to do over the next year or so. Now that I have a daily driver that I love to drive, so as much as I would like to drive this car, I don't need to. It's not as much of a, dump a motor in and get it on the road just to drive it anymore. It's going to be a fun, full build that might just take forever. But we currently have the room in the shop to do it. And yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess after the motor, I'll do full interior as well. Because this not only is old and kind of tore up, but since it sat for so long and had some holes, it doesn't smell so great anymore. Oops, there we go. So yeah, I'll have to rip up all the carpet and all the sound deadening probably to get rid of some of the smell. The dash is, cracked and, not ideal. So we'll see what we can do with that, or find a new one, or make a custom one maybe if we get crazy. The seats, those are seats from like a mid-90s Volvo 850, I believe, that John got set up and actually wired up to be electric on the driver's seat. So that's pretty cool, but they're all torn up and old, and they're not really that supportive. So I will be getting some sort of hopefully reclinable bucket like racing seat that'll keep us in the seat, and if I take it to the track, I'm not bracing my knees against the dash. So yeah, new seats there. These door cards are pretty much junk. As much as it was hard to find the black door card years ago, it's kind of garbage now, and I think just trying to do something just to make it look good. I want this car to look good, like really good, but still comfortable on the road and comfortable beating the crap out of it on the track. So yeah, got to do the seats and maybe reupholster the back seat, because that's a little bit rough. At least just at the top. But yeah, it was a little bit of a ramble. But yeah, I made a post on my Instagram, Eric with a K _ Grimsmo knives. And I made a post just moving this car and bringing it into the shop here. And a few people mentioned that they would love to see videos of the build and progress. So figured I'd dump it here for now. Maybe we'll do something on the main channel. Maybe we'll keep it here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think if you find this video. Let me know if you are into Volvos or have any ideas what would be fun to do with this, to do it properly. Because we always did junkyard stuff in the past. And if you know any small fabricators, people that already work on Volvos, have kits to do, the transmission conversions, have turbo kits, if anybody, if any small business is doing this kind of stuff specifically for these cars, I would love to help support them. So, in the comments, maybe give me some ideas or links or, whatever, just anything that'll get this project done properly. So, yeah, thanks. Tell your friends. Hopefully I'll make another video soon. See ya.